I never imagined my marriage would end in such a cold, humiliating way. For years, I truly believed what we had was solid, unbreakable. We'd built a life together, a warm home, a son we both adored, and dreams that stretched years into the future. But now, looking back, I can see the cracks had started long before everything came crashing down. It began subtly, late nights at the office that she said were tied to meetings. I wanted to believe her. Then came the business trips, almost every other weekend, each one chipping away at my trust, though never enough for me to confront her outright. Soon, she started stepping outside to take phone calls, speaking in low tones, turning her face away as if she was hiding something. Whenever I asked if something was wrong, if there was something she wasn't telling me, she'd lash out, defensive, angry, calling me paranoid. A part of me wanted to accept her explanations. I kept convincing myself she was just overwhelmed at work. But deep down, that uneasy weight in my chest never went away. Then came the night everything changed. It was a Friday. She said she had a dinner meeting with clients. In her rush, she forgot to turn off her location sharing. I tried to ignore it, but curiosity, or maybe fear, eventually took over. When I opened the app, her location showed up at a hotel across town. My chest tightened. My pulse pounded so hard it hurt. I sat frozen for nearly 20 minutes, trying to come up with innocent explanations, but I already knew. I drove there anyway, rehearsing excuses in my head, clinging to the fragile hope that I was wrong. But a quiet voice inside me already knew the truth. My hands were shaking as I knocked on the hotel room door. It felt like stepping off a cliff. When the door opened, a man I vaguely recognized stood there, wearing a shirt I remembered because she had once bought it for a colleague's birthday. Our eyes met. His expression was calm, almost indifferent as he said, "She's with me now." Then she appeared behind him. No shame, no guilt, just a blank, cold look that shattered something inside me. In that moment, I didn't scream, or beg, or demand answers. I just turned and walked away, knowing that whatever we had was gone forever. The days that followed were a blur of sleepless nights and quiet agony. But slowly, grief gave way to focus. I began collecting evidence, credit card statements, deleted messages, old emails, every trace of betrayal. I made copies of everything like I was preparing for battle. When I had enough, I hired a skilled divorce lawyer, one who specialized in cases like mine. Together, we filed on the grounds of adultery. Weeks later, the settlement meeting came. She arrived with him, walking in like they'd already won, as if my pain was just collateral damage. He sat across from me wearing that same smug look from the hotel, expecting me to crumble. But then something shifted. Her lawyer entered, polished, confident, the type who expected every negotiation to end in his favor. But when his eyes landed on me, the color drained from his face. His posture stiffened, his jaw locked. That's when I realized he remembered me. Years ago, I had been part of an internal investigation that exposed a massive fraud scheme, one that nearly destroyed a company. Back then, he'd been a junior counsel just starting out. The fallout had nearly ended his career. Seeing me again brought it all back. In that instant, I knew I wasn't the one who would be intimidated. The tone of the meeting changed completely. Their arrogance evaporated, replaced by nervous attempts at compromise. But I didn't want an easy ending. I wasn't there to make peace. I was there for justice, for my son, and for my own dignity. Every time they tried to soften the deal, my lawyer and I stood firm. This wasn't about revenge or money anymore. It was about reclaiming control of my life. When the judgment finally came, it felt like breaking through the surface after years underwater. I was granted full custody of my son. The court recognized what I had known all along, that while she was lost in her affair, he had been neglected. I kept the house too, ensuring my son would still have the same safe, familiar walls around him. The weight I'd carried for so long began to lift. Not long after, I heard she had moved in with the man she chose over us. But it didn't last. Eventually, word reached me that he'd been cheating on her too. She was forced to taste the same betrayal she had once served me. Hearing it was strange. A part of me felt vindicated, another part just tired. Even now, some nights when the house is still and my son is asleep, my mind drifts back to that hotel hallway, the pounding in my chest, the disbelief, the coldness in her eyes. For a long time, that moment haunted me, looping like a cruel film reel. But with time, the pain dulled. Now, when I think of that night, I don't just see the end, I see the turning point. The moment denial fell away, and I was forced to face reality. That night didn't just mark the death of my marriage. It marked the birth of someone stronger. I may never understand why she threw it all away, the family, the vows, the years, but I've stopped asking questions that will never be answered. What matters is that I made it through. I didn't just survive, I rose. I walked through the wreckage with my son beside me, head held high, and vowed never to let anyone take my strength again. Looking back, I see how it all connected, the betrayal, the investigation, the courtroom battles, each one forging me into someone more resilient than I ever thought I could be. Whatever comes next, I know one thing for sure, I have the strength to face it.